You've just started your journey as a performing artist. You're attending weekend rehearsals, you are trying out different choreography classes, you are putting in the reps at home, all the while managing your full-time job, dog mom responsibilities, laundry, preparing meals, all the fun stuff that adult life has to offer. Now you're feeling a bit unsure, a little bit frustrated, and you're not quite sure if you're on the right track. In this video, I'm going to give you 4 things that can help you on your journey. They include practical tips as well as mindset shifts, all geared towards helping you get the most out of your training sessions and become a fantastic performing artist. Okay, let's get into it. Tip number 1, write down your goals. So the saying goes, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. To that, I also add, if you don't have a destination, the journey is not really going to make much sense. Imagine this. There's a new restaurant you're really excited to try out, and it's the evening of the reservation. You're going to check it out with your best friends. You're dressed up, you're all ready to go. Get into your car, put your seatbelt on. The first thing you're going to do right after that is put the address into the navigation system. You won't necessarily drive out onto the road and then just hope a flock of pigeons is going to guide you along the way. In a similar way, it's so important to take a moment to write down your goals. And when I say write it down, I really mean write it down. Don't kind of, sort of, maybe have an idea in your mind and think, that's fine. I've got it, I can move on. I'd really like you to either grab a pen and paper, go analog, write it down, or pull out your phone, pull out the notes app and jot it down that way. Be really specific, be really clear, and having this kind of intention in front of you and knowing what you're working towards will help you so much in terms of putting a training plan together and being really focused on what you're trying to achieve. And if you would like some help along the way, I have created a free PDF downloadable guide. It's down in the description below. It's a goal tracking progress checker. I help you kind of get clear with your goals for the 6 months and then 3 months, and then we break it down into actionable things. I also give you some tips on how you can celebrate along the way. I'd love to help you on this journey, so if you are interested, check out the free guide. You can download it below. Moving on to tip number 2, reduce the scope but stick to the schedule. This is a quote by James Clear in an awesome podcast interview with Tim Ferriss. He talks about the fact that once you choose your identity, which is why we set our goals and we know exactly where we're going, then it's just about taking small actions to move towards the person that we want to become. So in this case, we're talking about training to become a performing artist. So going back to when I first started training to become a performing artist, preparing for my first stage, I had this mindset where unless I was training for 2 hours during every rehearsal, then it wouldn't really count, and then therefore I should not do it at all. And now I know that this couldn't be further from the truth. Okay, so in an optimal situation, I have upwards of 2 hours during my rehearsal time to practice the routine and go through all the things I need to in order to get ready for the stage. However, if I don't have that time, if my day is a bit longer at work or I have other responsibilities and all I can squeeze in is 30 minutes, then that 30 minutes is so much better than me doing 0 minutes. Every time you schedule your training, even if you cannot have the best amount of time dedicated to it, which is 2 hours or 3 hours, whatever it may be, even if it's 30 minutes, you still take on that identity of training to become a performing artist. You are a performing artist. So I would say that even if you cannot give it all, even if it's only 30%, stick to your schedule and still commit to the process and commit to your training. Tip number 3, document your journey. Oh, this one's a toughie, and I get it. The first time I filmed myself and I watched it back, I felt so cringy. It was such an uncomfortable process for me, and I promised I would never do it again. However, I pushed through and somehow I figured out a way to kind of separate myself from the person that was performing, if that makes sense. And I started to really look at how I was performing a piece or executing a certain routine. The thing about practicing a routine and dancing and performing is that sometimes we get so lost in the moves and we get lost in kind of the physicality of all of it that we can tend to forget the most important aspect, which is the storytelling, which is essential and integral to becoming an amazing performing artist. So if you take the time or take a moment to kind of record yourself dancing the piece, either at rehearsal or when you're training at home, then you can play it back and you can pick on things that you need to work on, and you can also show your choreographer and maybe they will have some tips as well. Also, as you keep recording and you play your videos back over time, it's just a wonderful way to see how you've progressed as well. You just have to find a way to get through the initial stages where it feels a bit cringy and uncomfortable, but I promise you it's totally worth it in the end. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, I'd love for you to hit that like button down below. Let's move on to tip number 4. Shift your mindset. also known as embrace the cringe. Learning something new, whatever the skill may be, is hard. It's really, really hard. And we have to be willing to suck at it for a little while, to feel quite cringe about it, because only through getting through that will we actually start to see and feel progress at the end. In this time of growth hacks and videos titled "Do the Splits in 30 days and learn to do this skill in 60 seconds, we kind of have this feeling that the speed at which we do things, the speed at which we're able to progress in things, is an indicator of how good we are. And I really would like you to unsubscribe from this, especially when we're talking about dance as a performance art and we look at, performers who've been doing it for decades, such as Beyonce or Jennifer Lopez. They always highlight how much time and prep and energy is required before they're able to execute that phenomenal performance on stage. And this is them saying this with years of training and time to finesse their skills. You've just decided to redefine yourself and shift your dance journey to acquire new skills and become a performing artist. Your creative journey is unique to you, and I hope that you give yourself so much grace in your journey to get there. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. I hope it gave you some insights. If you would like to learn a little bit more about goal setting, I think this video would be amazing for you. If not, you can also check out this video over here. Have a wonderful day. Keep learning, keep growing. I am rooting for you in your creative journey. See you in the next video. Peace.